Hi, it's Duncan Ralston here, author of the Ghostland Trilogy, Puzzle House, Womb, and a bunch of others. So today I'm going to be showing you some of my favorite ghosts from the Ghostland board game, whose Kickstarter you're currently perusing. Let's get started. Okay, first we've got the Nun. We call her the Nun in the game, but she actually has a name. Her name is Emmylou Amesbury. She's also called Sister Serpent. She's a very dangerous trickster ghost. She died in 1934. And she has a snow globe. I don't know if that's important. In the book it's important. It's not important in the game. But it's just a fun little detail. Let's see who we got next. Oh, the Swarm. My favorite. The Swarm is not really... It's kind of a conglomeration of ghosts. Not a single entity, but all of the ghosts come together and they make this badass, monstrous cloud of smoke, almost like the smoke monster from Lost, wherever the poster is. There it is. Except maybe deadlier? Hard to say. Okay, next we've got Captain Charles Manafort of the Gentlemen of the Sea. He's a pirate, and he has his badass little monkey skeleton, which you can see right there. Oh, Big Boss. He's a wrestler, looks like a luchador. He's from the Ghostland, Try Not to Die at Ghostland book, I believe. So I don't have a lot of information on him. He's just like a big, monstrous dude, and his skin is all shredded off. And, he's just generally cool. Now this one here is one of my favorite ghosts. This is the Behemoth. It's actually an amalgamation of different ghosts. It's 4 different ghosts, the Odell family. Clayton Odell being the base of the ghost from the neck down. Clayton Odell was a famous sculptor, a metal sculptor usually. So he has a welding torch and a giant hunk of metal that he kills people with. Now, on top of him, he sewed the top of his wife's body from the belly button up. So the head of the ghost is her. But there's also 2 other heads, which are their twins that are sewn to her chest. So it's a large ghost. It's probably about 11 feet tall, maybe a little shorter than that. And she's wearing what can only really be described as like a reverse Scold's Bridle. A Scold's Bridle prevents you from talking. This actually makes her voice quite loud and a very ominous sort of foghorn kind of noise that's heard throughout Garrett House. If you hear that sound, you want to get running, because that means the Behemoth is coming, and you don't want to be anywhere near that. Trust me. Morton Wells is pretty cool. I like this guy. He is a mental patient at Bright Falls Sanitarium. He's also a revenant, and revenants are full-bodied floating apparitions in the book. They're potentially harmful when they're in a solid state, which is when you can see them. So Morton Wells, he was lobotomized and brainwashed by Dr. Hammersmith, the head of the Bright Falls Sanitarium. And he was made into sort of a Dr. Caligari thing, a somnambulist that sleepwalks and murders people in his sleep. And in the book, he terrorizes Lillian. It's a pretty spooky ghost. Slopey the Clown, the one juggling all the heads. These severed heads of random people. It's a pretty badass looking ghost. He died in the 1928 Merchant Brothers Circus fire. It was, they said it was an accident, the fire, but it was actually one of the mimes swapped out the clown's hydrogen tanks for helium, so all of their balloons exploded, caused a fire that killed a lot of people. 67 people is what it says here. I guess I'll have to take my word for it. The Hateful Dead. That's another one. I don't think it's in the main books. It may be, but it's definitely in Try Not to Die at Ghostland, the book I co-authored with Mark Tullius. These guys are pretty cool. Like, it's a whole band that's made up of different kinds of bands. There's a marching band. Looks like a Beatlesy type band. There's a heavy metal singer, punk band. And they attack people, and they lasso them with the microphone cord, and they make them slaves in the back of their band, so they have to listen to the band, the Hateful Dead, for all eternity. Another of my favorites is Dr. Hammersmith. He is, I said before, he was the head psychiatrist at the Bright Falls Sanitarium. Now, he is, I believe, a possessor ghost. Yeah, he possesses one of the characters in the first book and makes them murder people. He was also known as Dr. Death, because he hypnotized people. Well, he lobotomized them and then hypnotized them to murder other people, based on the German film The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. That's Caligari, my bad. But Caligari sounds pretty cool, actually, when you think about it. And it's pretty apt. Here's another one I like. It's Henry Smokes, and he was the leader of the outlaw cowboy gang, and they caused the Lonesome Plains, Nevada massacre. The exhibit that they're in is called Ghost Town, USA, and basically they just replay the massacre over and over and over for audiences, which is a lot of fun, I suppose, if you're an audience member, but not so much fun for the people of Lonesome Plains. Probably fun also for the Henry Smokes and the rest of the Buckskin gang. Another of my favorites is a Joe Schmo Russo. He is a gangster. He's got a little Tommy gun there. He's pretty badass. He's smoking a cigar. He's often seen smoking a cigar in the books. And he apparently is an apparition who died in 1935. He was killed by the FBI during a raid while he was sitting in his Model T Ford. So his Model T Ford is actually haunted by his ghost. His Model T Ford can be found in the Visitors Center, and apparently he used to give his victims a head start before chasing them in his car. So he's not the kind of guy you want to meet in a dead-end alley. So this big green dude here is Jody Dollop, and he's from the Dollop Homestead exhibit. He died in 1947, and he's a revenant ghost, like we discussed before. Basically, what he does is he's famous for sticking people on spikes. So basically, he killed his two older brothers by impaling them on the metal poles that Mrs. Dollop, his mother, used to hang her laundry. And last but not least, we have Rex Garrett himself, the big bad of the board game and the book series. He's the ghost of a famous horror author from the 70s to the 90s. In 1999, I believe, he set himself on fire in his own library and burned to death. That's the last anyone ever saw of him, because his ghost does not roam the halls of Garrett House like the other ghosts do. Or does it? Anyway, those are some of my favorite ghosts from the upcoming Ghostland board game, based on my book series, or the trilogy, Ghostland and Try Not to Die at Ghostland. Marco Carrillo did the art, and thanks for joining me. I'm sure you're going to love this game when you finally get to play it.